I have a story, strange but true, that I would like to share with you. I set the stage to begin my show in Athens, Greece so long ago. Now let me take you back in time when a duke named Theseus was in his prime.
The Duke ruled Athens and was in top command. He governed his people with a firm, steady hand. A queen named Hippolyta would soon share his life. In just 4 days, they'd be husband and wife. Throughout the great city, the excitement grew. A huge feast was planned, entertainment too. These arrangements were made at a very fast rate, but the business of governing would not wait.
A man named Aegeus burst into the room. His face was furrowed with anger and gloom. His daughter Hermia felt the strain. She knew her father was there to complain. A young man Lysander followed behind. Thoughts of love filled his mind. He cherished her Hermia, that was clear, but so did Demetrius, who brought up the rear.
Aegis bowed low to the duke and confided.
My daughter won't marry the one I decide. Demetrius, the husband I pick, but she says the man just makes her sick. She wants to be Lysander's wife. I won't allow it, not on your life. I tell you, Duke Theseus, this is the last straw. I come to beg the power of law. She must do as I say and listen to me, or be sent away. That's the decree.
The noble duke rose from his throne.
This behavior, youngling, I cannot condone. You're making your father very irate. And so on this matter, there will be no debate. Fathers choose husbands, that's just the rule. To marry Demetrius, don't be a fool.
Poor Hermia begged with tragic despair. She thought this rule was so unfair.
I don't like Demetrius.
She said with candor,
I'm devoted to my handsome Lysander. This love in my heart is pure and true. Marry Demetrius? I just can't do.
Hermia protested.
This law I defy. I'll become a nun. I'll even die.
The duke was offended.
I said there's no choice. You'll be sent off alone.
came his strong voice.
The law of Athens can't be denied. By my wedding day, you'll have to decide.
The duke and his group then departed. Hermia was sad and broken-hearted.
Don't cry, my dear. Your tears I'll soothe. The course of true love never did run smooth. And honor of mine goes far away. We could go to your place without delay. She has no children, not even one. She loves me as though I were her son. There we shall marry and end this all. Please run away with me at twilight tomorrow. Lysander, I vow by Cupid's bow. Tomorrow night I'll be ready to go. We'll meet in the forest. I will not fear. Then into the darkness we'll disappear. Together, my dear, we both shall flee. And at your inn's home I'll marry thee. My sweet Lysander, I will no longer grieve.
Then they high-fived goodbye and turned to leave.
They hadn't taken but a single pace when the two were greeted with a familiar face.
It was Helena, Hermia's friend. It looked like she was at her wit's end. Hermia, Demetrius is my life, but you don't leave me. I'll never be his wife. Oh, teach me, Hermia. Tell me what to do. I will have to love you like he loves you. Helena, don't cry. I guarantee you. I can't stand your guy. I've found you focus, but he loves me still. I love Lysander, and I always will.
Then Lysander spoke out. He was gracious and kind.
I'll tell you, dear friends, what's on my mind. We're running away together tonight. It's the only way to solve our plight.
With that, the two left, content as could be. Poor Helena was in agony.
Demetrius loves Hermia.
She cried in despair.
This is far more than I can bear. How can I get him to love me instead?
Then a brilliant idea crept into her head.
I'll tell Demetrius of this deed. He'll take me for sure, then I'll be supreme.
So off she ran, her heart on fire, to find Demetrius, her lifelong desire.
The hours dragged on till the following eve as the four prepared to leave. Lysander and Hermia met as was planned, then trudged through the forest, hand in hand.
Demetrius followed the couple's route. Helena chased after in hot pursuit. These mortals moved through the woods unknown, but these mortals were not alone. And if they looked closely and listened with care, they would have heard rustling in the bushes out there. Perhaps they've seen a shimmer of wings and all the other magical things.
as the humans took flight, the fairies joined together far into the night. Oberon was king of this fairyland, and the little sprites jumped to his every command.
As King Oberon talked about his spiteful scheme, Demetrius rushed in on another theme. Helena followed a few steps behind.
I pray you, my darling, change your mind. I have to you my love of earth, but you, Demetrius, you are my world. I copied their plans. I did my part. I beg you now, give me your heart.
Demetrius erupted like a raging cyclone. Go away! Leave me alone! I told you before you make me ill. I love Hermia, and I always will.
By now, poor Helena was completely distraught.
Don't change his mind.
She desperately thought. Demetrius stomped off. It's Hermia must follow me. Helena stopped or ran behind.
Now Oberon was touched by Helena's plight, so he made a promise that night.
These rope change your luck.
So he called his sprite, a fairy named Puck. Puck was always playing jokes on the unsuspecting folks. But this was not a time for glee, as the fairy king began his plea.
I need you to find an unusual flower. I'm in frantic need of its magical power. Beloved Adonis, my sprite, is purple in color though it used to be white. The sleeping eye, you shriek with its tears. The powerful love potion is set loose. That young man awakes, you see Helena's face, and will be her how ought to embrace.
Puck bowed to his king.
This flower I'll find, I'll do it so fast it'll boggle your mind. I'll search everywhere and try hard to please.
Then Puck fluttered off into the breeze. Little Puck continued his probe. He looked like a blur as he circled the globe. Finally, in a distant place, Puck found the flower to end the chase.
It smelled like sweet honey and had a soft touch. He cradled it gently, it was treasured so much. Then homeward bound, he blazed through the night, soaring at the speed of light.
Puck, Puck, well done. Now you must go and find the wine. Mr. Demetrius, the change of his mind. Take some of its juice and put it into his eyes. But make sure Helena's the first one he spies. Fear not, I'll do as you ask.
Then he flew off to complete the task.
But little Puck was soon to make a mistake. He'd mix up the couples and cause more heartache.
Hermia and Xander still wandered around. The home of his aunt was nowhere to be found. The gentle Hermia was most distressed.
My love, I'm faint. I need to rest. Lysander, find yourself a bed, for on this bank I'll rest my head.
Lysander lay down a short distance away, exhausted from a very long day.
Above the forest, eager Puck flew until these two came into view.
There is the man that Oberon chose, for he is wearing just the right clothes. And here is the woman sleeping sound on the dank and dirty ground. A powerful love will induce.
On Lysander's eyes, Puck poured the juice.
So awaken now when I am gone, for I must go back to Oberon.
Along came Helena, gasping for air. Her heart was full and heavy of despair. She saw Lysander laying in a heap and rushed to him.
Is he dead or asleep? Lysander, good sir, if you live, awake and run through fire and will for thy sake.
Replied Lysander, embracing Helena.
You are my sweet. You're proud of your kidding. Put this joke aside. I know it's her when you wanted to cry.
Not a chance. It's you I love, who's never changed a raven for a dog.
Give me a prick. I'm in dismay. Do you think I was born yesterday?
She stomped off in great disdain. Lysander followed with the loving refrain.
But what about Hermia, still sound asleep, lying on the grass in a curled up heap? Soon she awoke from a dreadful nightmare. She couldn't find Lysander anywhere.
Lysander, my love, what has occurred? Out of hearing, gone, no sound, no word. Speak if you can.
Then into the night she ran after her man.
Puck was delighted with the success of his plan. He didn't know he found the wrong man. Back to his master he flew in a dash, intent to deliver the latest news flash.
As they spoke, they heard footsteps approaching their spot. Hermia rushed in looking quite distraught. Demetrius followed of his own free will.
Demetrius, you're such a creep. Did you kill Lysander while he was asleep?
I tell you, I'm innocent.
Demetrius said.
I'm sure Lysander is not dead. Why do you scold me so severely? My only fault is to love you dearly.
Demetrius, I know you speak in jest.
Hermia kept running. He lay down to rest.
Oberon watched this scene in dismay and pointed to Demetrius in a worried way.
You squeeze the juice into his eyes. Tell me, Puck, I want no lies.
I remember the woman.
Puck was alarmed.
But that's not the man I charmed.
Puck, this isn't right. You chose the wrong man, you sly sprite. Fly like the wind be held in his sky, and ties through back around his man's side. Go quickly, Puck, fix this mistake. I will use the flower to cure this heartache.
Oberon advanced and held out the bloom. Demetrius inhaled its enchanted perfume. As the fragrant potion shrouded his mind, Puck appeared with Helena behind.
Oh, King, your wishes I did execute, but Lysander is following in swift pursuit.
And besides, the noise will make, the noise they make will cause patience to wait.
The 201 and the show will have just begun. Shall we therefore in trouble see what fools these mortals be?
As Oberon and Puck quickly withdrew, Lysander and Helena rushed into view.
I worship you so.
You mocked me. I told you to go.
Then Demetrius awoke.
Oh, Helena divine, telling me you love me, give me a sign.
Then both of the men dropped down to their knees and cried together.
Marry me, please!
The two of you are acting absurd. In fact, abnormal is the word.
I'll restart my life. I must have Helena for my wife. It's me she adores. My affection for her is greater than yours. I'll prove it of the blade of my sword.
Now all this caused quite a hullabaloo. Hermia stumbled in all this gear. Her eyes were wet, her head hung low. To lose Lysander had been a real blow. And in the blue she heard a voice. She wasn't aware of his new love choice.
Lysander, why did you go? Behold, it's an ugly crow. Is this a dream? It cannot be. It's Helena for me.
Helena's heart and mind were in a blur. She thought they all made fun of her. She turned to Hermia with passion deep.
This gaming play is really cheap. It is Hermia. I do contend. You join these men making fun of your dear friends?
You are the thief. Your accusation defies belief. Lysander is mine. You stole him by night. You backstabber. You parasite.
Now Oberon looked in and saw the spell left.
What's up, this right little passion? Your master with everything right. Overcast the night.
The sprites obeyed his master's bid, and in the forest they quickly hid. He directed the mortals round and round until one by one they collapsed to the ground. Then he sprinkled the juice in Lysander's eyes, and off he flew. The four of them fell fast asleep, perfectly still, not making a peep. At dawn they entered into the glen, Duke Theseus, Aegeus, and the huntsmen. They blew their trumpets loud and clear, and the couples leapt to their feet, pale with fear.
I'd like to know, weren't you all enemies a short time ago?
I beseech your grace, I'm a maid that took place. Of the Hermia I ran away with. The law of Athens we would not obey. And the chief, I love Helena, but not anymore. Hermia is mine, as she was before.
Hermia's father was not amused. Then Demetrius spoke out, just as confused.
My love for Hermia has melted like snow. It's to Helena my heart I owe.
Well, then I decree, instead of one wedding, we'll have 3.
When the vows were done, there was singing and dancing and lots of fun.
Well, we've had a long day, and now to bed we must away. It's midnight and the bells do chime. Dear friends, it's almost fairy time. with fairy grace will we sing and bless this place. Now until the break of day, through this house the fairy stray. We shall love the couples three, ever true and loving be. Trip away, make no stay, meet me all by break of day. The stage was empty, the actors gone. The lights were out, the curtain drawn. Did we really see the sight, or was this magic in the night? Were these fancies what they seem, or was this all a midsummer night's dream?
Support. You know, it really is only when we can get children like this up for performances that they can establish the skills they need later on in life to be public speakers. It just means so much. And while I have everybody here celebrating this moment.